Getting some quality socialization time in.
Bah.
So you'll notice something a little bit different about these ones. These are goose eggs, and they are much bigger. Ooh, that's cold. Hopefully it's okay. Anyway, I just picked them up, like literally seconds ago. Picked these up from a lady, and I'm going to take them to my daughter's preschool to incubate or start incubating for me. I've never done goose eggs, obviously. This will be a first. I've been doing some research on them. They're a bit different than chicken eggs, so hopefully they'll be okay. But my plan is to get another incubator to do the rest of these as soon as I can get one. The sooner the better, obviously, because there is a bit more work to these. They need more humidity than chicken eggs. So one of the ways that I've seen to do this is to take the eggs out a few times a day, spray them with water, and then let them sit for like 15 minutes, or because this simulates the mother goose getting off of the egg, going for a swim, and then coming back. The lady I just talked to who gave them to me, she said that she just sprays them and then puts them back in. So that's another option. I'm not entirely sure what we'll do. But anyway, she gave me an extra egg because goose eggs are much harder to hatch, so hopefully that'll all work. Anyway, I'm giving these to my daughter's daycare or preschool to incubate, or at least start for me, because they've got a batch of chicken eggs as well that I picked up this morning. And it'll be interesting because I was expecting like 8 chicken eggs and 2 goose eggs, and I was like, oh, there'll be loads of room in the incubator. They gave me 12 chicken eggs and 3 goose eggs for a 12 egg incubator, so that'll be interesting. We're gonna have to stack them. Oops. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm gonna take these to the preschool, get them to start them, and then I'll continue filming what I'm doing with these once I get another incubator to put them in. Okay, so I finally got the goose eggs home. Somebody was super kind and let me borrow their incubator, which is like virtually the same one that I already had. Difference is that it's in Fahrenheit, not Celsius, and that's like a slightly different color, but otherwise I think virtually the same. They didn't drill holes in this, which is actually kind of perfect for the goose eggs. That's because they need a higher humidity. So anyway, I went to the preschool this morning, hi Link, and traded the chicken eggs for these goose eggs and brought them home wrapped in this tea towel in my shirt to keep them nice and warm. That was basically the mother goose while they were traveling. So yeah, I've just added some water. I'm gonna have to go out and get a thermometer and a hygrometer today to make sure that the humidity and temperature is what it says it is. I think it probably is the right temperature, but I still want to check the humidity. But I added a bit of water, and based on how my incubator behaves, that should bring it up to about 60% humidity. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on this. There's some extra steps to incubating goose eggs, and we'll see how it goes. I've never done it before, so it could be that I completely screw it up and none of these hatch, but if even one hatches, I'm super happy about that. But I'll show you the process of that while we go through this video, and hopefully we get some geese. While I was out today, I went and got a hygrometer and a thermometer to just double check that everything is where it should be. So it says it's at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's within a couple, I just had the lid open, so that actually might be correct. And then the humidity hovering around 60%, which is about where I want it. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if it changes at all. But I'm going to leave those in throughout the duration of this hatch just to confirm everything is where it should be, humidity and temperature wise, and make sure these are developing the way they should. So yeah, that's hygrometer. I underestimated with the first hatch just how important that is. So if you don't have a hygrometer on your incubator or a way to confirm the humidity, just get a secondary one. These were super cheap. It's you can get really cheap small hygrometers and thermometers just to double check what your incubator is telling you, if it's telling you at all, because this one doesn't have a way of telling you what your humidity is. So a secondary one is a necessity for this. The temperature one is a good idea to have, at least to check periodically just to confirm. But yeah, definitely worth getting. Think, what are you doing, buddy? Anyway, so I just wanted to give that little update. We're going to be keeping an eye on things and adjusting as needed to keep it around 60% until lockdown, and then we'll see what we need to do closer to then. These goose eggs have been incubating for 7 days now, which means it is time for step 2. Come on, buddy. So I'm going to candle them, and then I'm going to spray them and give them a little cool down for about 5 minutes, and then put them back in. So as you can see, they have quite a huge yolk. I'm going to see if I can... Might be a bit early to see anything because goose eggs do develop a bit differently than chickens. Get out of here, man. So yeah, I can't see anything just yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It looks like there might be a little spot there. It's hard to tell. But possibly some development. It's hard to say at this point, but that looks right there like it might be a little, like right there, it might be a little bit of development, but we're going to give this one a few more days. Yeah, still got a bit of an air sac. Hard to see much of anything else at this point, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything with goose eggs. So we'll put this one back in, give it a few more days, candle it again. This one is going to be harder to see just because it is so dirty. But again, it's hard to see if there's anything really going on in here. But we'll check the other side very carefully. Yeah, it's got an air sac in there. All's looking good on that. Oh, I did see a darker spot, so that's a good sign. And forgive me, I sound a bit off because I am getting over a cold. But yeah, I can see a little dark spot moving around in there. So that's a good sign. We got one developing at least. The other one, it was a bit hard to see, but we'll keep an eye on these. We'll check them again in a few days. And here's egg number 3. Again, I don't really see a whole lot yet, which doesn't necessarily mean anything yet, but we'll try it again in a few days and see if there's any changes. The cats keep coming in here and opening the door, so I apologize. Yeah, the air sac is looking good. You can definitely see the yolk quite clearly, but yeah, we'll check them all again in a couple of days and see if there's anything more we can see. I'm pretty sure at least one is developing, and these other 2 we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, goose eggs can take a bit longer to see anything just because they're so much bigger. There's so much that needs to happen, but yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on them, and I'll update you when I do when I candle them again. I'm gonna put these in here for now to let them sit for about 5 minutes. I just take this and spray and then flip them over and do it again. And we're gonna leave them for about 5 minutes before we put them back in the incubator. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And I'm gonna try and keep this little troublemaker away from them. We'll see how that goes. So I'm not sure if this is a good sign or not, but it doesn't look like there's... This is the one that looks like there's the most happening in it, and even then it's not a huge amount, so I'm hoping that's a developing goose, gosling, but it's still hard to say at this point. I don't see a whole lot of the veining that you're supposed to see, so fingers crossed. And then the air pocket is still there, so that's good at least, but yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of the stuff that I would like to see, but it does still look like there's something happening, so that's good news at least. This is the one I started off the most hopeful with, and I can still see like a dot, like something's going on in there, but I'm not convinced. So again, I'm going to leave it in, see if anything develops, changes, but I would have thought that by 10 days I'd see more than this. My cat just fell in the toilet. Anyway, like again, it's got a decent sized air pocket, so maybe something's happening. I don't know. We'll give it a few more days and see what's going on. So this was the one I originally thought might be developing. As you can see, it doesn't have quite as a distinct dark spot, so I'm thinking there's probably not much happening in this one. Let's take a look at the other end. There is a decent air sac in this, as well. So, I mean, could potentially mean there's still hope for it. But I'm not getting my hopes up too high for it. And this is the one where I'm about 99% sure absolutely nothing is happening in it. So, unfortunate, but that is just the way of goose eggs. They are much less reliable to hatch than chicken eggs. So it is what it is. I'm still going to leave it in there for a bit longer. See if anything does happen. Who knows? But I'm really not getting my hopes up for this one either. Hi, Link. So this is day 14 on the goose eggs. As you can see, there's a big dark spot on this one, which I'm hoping is a developing chick. I would have thought it'd be bigger, but I guess like they do develop at a different rate, than chicken eggs, so I can see why it might not go the same. And there's still a decent sized, thought I could see some movement there, maybe not. Air sac at the bottom of this, so that's something anyway. But, well, I think it's just the way the light is reacting, but I keep thinking I see movement, maybe not, but we'll keep an eye on this one. This one is so far at least my biggest hope for a goose. We'll see what develops, if anything, but I think I can see some veining, but I also don't have the best candling light. I gave that one to the preschool for the kids to see with, so this one might just not show it very well. Anyway, I'm gonna go look at the other eggs. Okay, so the goose eggs didn't really work out. Unfortunately, they all seem to have stopped developing, which is not crazy with goose eggs. They're notoriously hard to hatch. So, you're probably wondering how I got goslings, baby geese. Gooses. Anyway, these are pilgrim goslings. This one is a girl, and this one is a boy. Unrelated. I just picked them up from a lady, and we're going to try raising these instead. Pilgrims are a good dual-purpose egg-laying and meat goose. They're kind of a medium-sized. I read that they were like critically endangered, which is kind of weird given how easy it was to find them, but maybe that's the thing. I don't really know. But they're also one of the few bird breeds and goose breeds as well that is sex-linked, which means you can tell from birth whether it's a boy or a girl, which is kind of cool. A couple of differences with geese is obviously they're much bigger. These ones are 4 days old, but still like much bigger than chickens would be at this age. They have to have different food. They have different feed requirements. They need niacin to help their feathers and wings develop properly. Hi, buddy. They need not medicated because the medicated food is formulated for chickens and can actually poison geese, so they can't have the medicated feed. You can feed chick starter if you're in a pinch, but it can't be medicated. But we've got proper goose and duck feed, chick feed. And furthermore, they need water that's deep enough to stick their nostrils all the way in, so they have to be able to stick their beak all the way up over their nostrils to clean their nostrils. So yeah, they also have different heat requirements, so I've just put the heat plate in so they can go in and out as they choose, but they'll also be able to go outside a bit sooner as well. So anyway, that's where we're at with the geese. I still have the eggs in the incubator, but they're really not doing anything, so I'm pretty much lost hope. But yeah, we have a couple of goslings now. So this one is Lefty and this one is Lucy, and they're very, very friendly. Hi, buddy. They don't want, they're hungry, so they want me to leave them alone. Anyway, I'm gonna let them adjust to their brooder, and we'll come check on them later. You guys having fun? Oh yeah, good poop.
Whoa. Good work, babe.
Whoa.
Now it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Little poop machines.
Oh.
You don't let him put his hands in it.
Whoa.
Well, don't scare the goslings, buddy.
Just for the ducks.
He's reaching in.
Aja.
That's a loud, buddy. Inside voice.
Yummy water.
I think it's time to give up on these goose eggs. Nothing is happening inside of them, or at least nothing normal is happening inside of them. There are darker blobs, but none of them look like veins, and none of them look like geese, so I'm going to call it. I'm going to toss these and focus on the goslings instead. So I guess that's the end of my incubating goose eggs video. Unfortunately, I didn't get anywhere, but from what I understand, incubating goose eggs is basically expert mode. So I think from now on, since we do have a compatible male and female pilgrim goose, when they get older and have eggs, I'll leave it to her. It was a fun experiment anyway, so if nothing else, this is what not to do. I'm not really sure what went wrong entirely, but I think it's also to some degree a matter of luck, and we didn't have it. That happens. That's a big part of farming, is just not having luck. But anyway, we'll keep you updated on the goslings and raising them and how much fun that is, because they are adorable and very friendly. So I'm sure there'll be lots of cute videos of that, but for now, I guess like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you next time.